This is The Fifth Estate, a conversation between young African scholars from the Fort Hall School of Government and Professor Mutahi Ngunyi. This Sunday, we are baffled by the deceitful heart of William Ruto. He told us that the handshake was his idea, that Baba Man called him first and pleaded with him to arrange the handshake. Whether this is true or not is immaterial. What baffles us is this: why arrange for the handshake on one side, then cross over to the other side to fight it? If this is not twisted logic, then we don't know what is. Then Uhuru told us that they formed the BBI committee with Ruto. To date, Ruto has not denied this. And so we ask, why form BBI in order to oppose it? But there's one more thing. Ruto told us that the ground was with him, that the hustler nation is the revolution. Then he got 4 BBI votes out of 550 in Gema and won 1 miserable seat out of 7 seats in this week's by-election. If this man is not a political liar, he is either deluded or has a twisted hole in his soul.
Wait a minute. There is nothing wrong with having a deceitful heart in politics. In fact, the currency of high politics is lies. And if Ruto has managed to lie to us, that is genius. But there is a big fat problem here. We know that political deceit and lies are the currency of politics. However, they must never catch you. If you get caught, the currency is devalued to a level known as absolute zero in physics. Take the 7 by-elections this week. Out of the 216,000 registered voters in the wards and constituencies, Ruto won 1,707 votes in London ward. This is an equivalent of 0.78%. Absolute zero. The BBI vote in Gema was 4 out of 550 MCAs, which is equal to 0.72% of the vote. And if Gema has 6 million votes, this translates to 43,000 votes. This is absolute zero compared to the lies that Gema is with Ruto. Out of 47 counties, 44 have voted against him. Even in his backyard, the Kipsigis of Bomet and Kericho voted against him. Now, Ruto is just a leader of the Nandi, KU and Turugen tribes. If this is not sinking to the level of absolute zero, what is?
But there's another absolute zero moment. William Ruto is estimated to have donated over 2 billion shillings to romance the Mulembe Nation. And then, in the by-election, Mulembe Nation responded to the romance with Mother Rao. They gave him only 11,000 votes after all that he had done. This means that Ruto bought 1 Mulembe vote for a total of 181 million shillings. If this is not twisted logic, what is twisted? And if Ruto lied to Mulembe Nation using 2 billion shillings, and Mulembe Nation lied back using only 11,000 votes, was Ruto justified in his UDA violence? Clearly, the answer was yes. If we thought that Raila was a merchant of violence, Ruto MPs have taught us that violence using stones is nothing but a Sunday school picnic. And that is why Ruto MPs brandished their guns during the by-elections this week. What is our point here? Ruto is allowed to lie to you, but you cannot lie back. If you lie to a man with a hole in his soul, Violence will be his last refuge. Violence will be their currency to power. Kikuyus and Luyas, be warned.
Violence is the last instrument of an incompetent order. It is an infection that is passed from generation to generation on end, and ultimately, it leaves a darkness in the soul of the nation forever. The 2007 election left a scar in the flesh of our nationhood forever. This is because the good violence does is temporary, but the evil it does is permanent. And violence, good people, is Ruto's currency to power. Have you ever wondered why Ruto was taken to The Hague, but Raila was not? Yet Raila was leader of ODM, the violence party. Have you wondered why Uhuru's case was dismissed by ICC, but Ruto's case was suspended with the intention of reviving it later should new evidence appear? Dear Kikuyus, Jesus Christ has warned us against whitewashed graves, and William Ruto is a political whitewashed grave. What you see on the outside is white with promise, but the inside is dead and rotten. What you see on the outside is glittering money, but on the inside, the man is waiting to become president. Then he will show you his rotten self and the death that he has become.
Now that we have caught Ruto lying after the disaster of the 7 by-elections and the BBI fiasco, we will guide him. Dear Ruto, the presidency has its owners, and the owners are not the voters. Ask Donald Trump. And the owners have told us this: we do not know who the president will be in 2022. What we know is that it will not be William Ruto. Dear Mr. Ruto, you have told us that the owners of the presidency want to assassinate you. And you were right. But you thought they would do it violently in your helicopter. But they are assassinating you slowly. They think you are a frog. If you put a frog in a pot of boiling water, it will jump out. But if you put it in cold water, the frog will sit pretty. And if you increase the heat of the water, the frog will relax. As the water gets hotter, the frog will enjoy the steam bath. In this state of relaxation, it will get sleepy and dreamy. By the time the water reaches boiling point, the frog will have no energy to jump out. It dies. Dear Mr. Ruto, this is the assassination plan, and your violence is the slow firewood.
And now, a random thought. The story of a man who told us he was the top dog and got only 0.78% of the vote in a by-election. A cocky political trickster who said he had taken over Gema and got only 0.72% of the Gema BBI vote. This trickster creates lies and believes in them. He's like a dog that pranced around looking for the presidency. Then a Gema butcher threw him a juicy bone called Deputy President. As he went home to Sugoi happily, he saw another dog with a bigger bone in the river. It was a reflection of himself in the river. And because the dog was greedy, it wanted the bigger bone in the reflection. With vice, it attacked the dog in the reflection, not knowing that the reflection was himself, and Gema had set him up. He lost his only bone as he looked for bigger things. This dog, ladies and gentlemen, is William Ruto. He has a bone in his mouth, and if he was patient, Uhuru would have made him president, full stop. But because he has lied to himself and chased a reflection of the presidency, he will lose what he has to greed and deceit.